All right, here we go. Let me turn my headphones down. Addie, talk to me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. What's happening?
Too quiet?
Nope, it's perfect. Let me bring in
Not
Brian.
much, man. Just me and you in here.
Yep, Brian. Let me bring Brian in. Brian,
Hello?
can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, what's happening? Talk to me. What's going on? You're the new person on the
So,
line.
Brian,
Uh, Yeah.
we hear from Brian first.
Yep.
Okay. First of all, I want to say that it is not black people that's saying that that we want to define the the police. It's these white people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I seen I seen a video where they showing black people saying they don't want to defund the police. They want more cops in their neighborhood. But you got white people that saying that they want to defund the police. That they don't want no cops. It's like they want this country to be the complete mayhem.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. You said it's more white people than it is black people saying that?
Yes.
But let me ask you this, just a common sense question. And let me ask you this. Don't you think because white people are the majority, if some of them, even a small portion of them, speak out and say something, don't you think that it will always look like it's a lot if you compare it to black people, knowing that black people are only 17% of the population?
Yeah.
So like I
Yeah,
say,
yeah, because
mhm,
yeah,
go
because
ahead.
I live in in Detroit. I mean, there's no way I can live in Detroit without cops. I mean, we're not as bad as Chicago, but shoot,
So you're not gonna claim that title, huh?
nope.
I hear you. What do you think about that, Addie? What do you think about what the young man has said so far?
Well, I disagree. I don't know. I mean, I don't, there's, as far as I know, there hasn't been any statistics that have come out that have like said, like all along racial lines, who is saying this and who is not saying it. But I am very, very white, and I definitely don't think we should defund the police. I definitely want them in my neighborhood. I live in a horrible neighborhood. Um, I, I just don't. I just disagree. Um, I don't think it's really along racial lines saying to defund the police or not. And that's
Yeah,
just based upon what I know.
yeah. I'm sorry to say that. I mean, it's not. I'm not trying to say like all white stuff because it's mainly the what would you call it, the the people who support the Democrats.
I see what you're saying. What you talk about? What
Right.
what we call the liberal left.
Yeah, liberal right. Yeah, yeah, them. Yeah.
I got you. I understand.
Yeah,
And by the way, I
honestly, if
like I
it's
like your avatar.
Brian,
I like your avatar. By the way, that takes me back to my childhood.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if
yeah,
y'all know about Beavis and Butthead, but man, I used to love that show.
Me too.
Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead,
that was
go
one of my
ahead, Eddie.
favorites. Yeah, I would tend to agree with him more if that's the case. If he's drawing it more along political lines, I would say I would tend to agree a little bit more than along racial lines.
So, Brian, since you're the new man on the line, where do you? Yes, anybody can join. If anybody wants to click that link, moderators, y'all can join in. Ask Keyshawn, she's been on here. I think Pamela's been on here. A lot of y'all have been on here. Y'all can hop on. Absolutely, y'all can hop on if you want to. Anybody can click the link. Like I said, we just won't spend a whole lot of time on here. We'll probably give you guys, oh, maybe about an hour. I'd say an hour would probably be good. But Brian, here's what I want to ask you. Where do you stand when it comes to the idea of the policing? Like, what do you think should happen? Like, where do you stand with that whole thing?
I believe that as long as it's good cops, we should have more cops.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because if we have less cops, there's gonna be more problems.
I agree. Definitely agree.
Because
Let me ask you this
I'm sorry.
as far as like the funding. I always present the argument where I say that I think there should be more funding and not less of it. How do you feel about that? Because I feel like if you offer more money, you should also have higher requirements, meaning you should have better training, you'll have better tools, you'll have more incentive. What do you think about paying the cops more instead of less?
Well, I'll be honest, because if you pay them less, then that wouldn't motivate them to work harder, and that'll probably make them more ticked off. I mean, that's like because I work at a grocery store. I mean, if my boss would have came to me and said, "Well, we're going to cut your check down," I think that most of us will probably quit.
Right.
Most definitely.
Did we not just talk about that recently, Addie?
Yeah, we did. Yes, we did.
Like, it's like, how you gonna ask me to do the exact same job to the exact same standards, but you're gonna give me less money to do it? I'm like, no, thank you. Like that.
I don't get the logic behind that. I don't think there is any logic behind that. It's ridiculous.
And I think what's even scarier is the fact that they're actually. Hold on. Let me get rid of that out my chat. Hold on. Sorry, my computer's moving a little slow. Guys, do me a favor. Don't put your email address in the chat, okay? It's for your protection. But please don't put your email out there in the chat. If y'all need to get in touch with somebody, then shoot me an email, and I promise you, I will pass you guys information to each other. But for your protection, don't pass email accounts in the chat, please. But
No private info in the chat.
none.
None.
Yeah, like I said, I know y'all maybe y'all didn't. Yeah, maybe y'all didn't know that, but yeah, just be real careful with that, okay? But also,
because if you put your personal information, because people will hack you. I mean, hack you fast. I mean.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call nobody out by name, but I do know that there was somebody recently that was scammed that I know of personally, got scammed out of some money like that. So I'm just saying, just for your protection and just out of respect for the chat, it's all good. If you didn't know, it's cool. Like I said, it's a learning thing. A lot of people are even here for the first time. And again, for the people who want to hop on here, all you guys have to do is have a free hand. If you're on a device watching us right now, then just click that link that the moderators are posting, and it says call in and speak your mind. Click that link. You touch that link, it'll bring you in here. All you guys have to do, as you can see, I'm not showing anybody's picture on the screen, but I'll be able to hear your voice. But you can call in even to the moderators. I know there was a moderator that asked if they could call in. Yes, you can call in, but if y'all guys would, please do that now. Let me get you guys on here now. So if you want to hop on and speak something, if you would, let's go ahead and do that right about now, okay? So that way we don't be on here all night long. I've never really liked doing like really, really long shows like we used to do back in the day. Like we used to do like 8-hour streams, if you believe it or not.
That's too long.
Yeah, I don't think I can be on here for that long because I gotta
you got shit to do.
Yeah, in the morning. Yeah.
Like sleep and eat and stuff.
Yeah. So how long have you been watching the channel, Brian? Or when did you start watching this, and what do you think about what we're trying to accomplish?
I really like what you're trying to accomplish. I had not watched your channel in a while. I've been watching Tommy a lot though, but I just happened to catch your stream by chance. But I honestly do enjoy it. I mean, I don't have the money right now to donate, but I do try to listen.
What is I'm gonna see if Addie knows this. What is my motto on that, Addie? Do you know?
What about the donating?
Mm-hmm. You want to let him know how we feel about donating over here?
Yeah, man. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we do need money to run the show and everything, but your contribution, like just calling in tonight and like offering your opinion and stuff, that's huge. Like, that's a contribution. Like hitting the that's a contribution. it doesn't require a monetary amount um, uh, to just contribute. Like every person is a part of the AFC. We're all one, and it really does take all of us to make it what it is. And Jay understands, like, times it's tough, man, like tough.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
that's basically it.
Right now trying to put aside enough money to move out of the city to move into the back into the suburbs.
And I just thought about something else, Addie. I'm so glad that you said that, and you said it perfectly. I couldn't have said it any better. And by the way, and I know people ask a lot of times, oh, you'll have to,
Take all of us. Someone has their YouTube on.
yeah, Mookie, what you'll have to do when you hop on, I can hear you, which is a good thing. Just pause that YouTube in the background, and you should be good to go. And I think I can hear you.
Yeah, right now trying
So pause that YouTube, Mookie, if you can hear me.
to move to move.
Let me see if she got it paused. Can you hear me, Mookie?
Yes, I hear you.
Hey, what up? How are you?
I'm doing fine, man.
Good. Let me say this real quick, and then I'm gonna let you speak your mind. I almost forgot because a lot of times, and Addie knows this as well as a lot of the moderators. A lot of people know that people will harass us sometimes and be like, "Well, what do you guys actually do for the kids, and what have you guys done?" and blah blah blah. Not only did we get somebody arrested, and shout out to all of you guys, by the way, for getting Takesha Williams arrested, right? Which was really dope, and it's just the start because we absolutely have to get a conviction for it to be really worth it, and that's what we're pushing for. But also, we have a GoFundMe account right now. Not us, but there's a young lady who has a GoFundMe account. Let me see if I can pull that up on the channel real quick. And it's actually a friend of mine who is trying to send her daughter on a school trip, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick.
Oh yeah, the girl who's trying to go to DC.
Yep. It says let's help a child go to Washington D.C. So for the people who ask, like, what do? We actually posted that, and it was a little bit slow the very first day. Let me see where we're at right now. Okay, it jumped up a little bit, but the last donation we got on there was 4 days ago. So I did take some of the money that I've earned or that people have donated, I should say, and we were able to put it towards that. So out of her $1,700 goal, we are at $916, which is not bad because they didn't have that much when they first started. But if people want to contribute there, that's another place where you can actually make an impact immediately. And I'll post that in the chat right now. But I thought I'd throw that out there because I just thought about it.
Just to add on to that really quick, Jay has promoted other GoFundMe's different times, maybe not exactly in a stream, but as we're going through the live stream, if it's a legit one, like the one dad who's, I think he lost like 3 kids in a fire or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can't remember exactly, but like if it's legit, Jay will be like, look, this is the GoFundMe. This is legit. There was even one time where I was like, I think they deserve every penny of that. And
Yep.
you agreed. So
Yeah.
we do. It's not all about just us. We do spread the love and shit.
Mookie, are you there?
Yeah, there, man.
All right. Holla at me. What's going on?
Me too, I'm here too.
Oh, not much, man. I just wanted to let you know, man, I always appreciate the things that you do for the kids and, all the stories. And, it hits a good point for me because, I have kids. Most people I know have kids, and you always want to make sure they are protected. And it just seems sad that you have people and families out there that really don't, take into consideration of things they do could actually harm their kids and put them in bad situations, and it seems like they don't even care. And it's just one of those things that it's refreshing to see a platform as this to be able to actually advocate for the kids, and you actually be genuine in your efforts, and it's good to see, bro. And that's the reason why every chance I have a chance to see you and I actually be able to catch you live, I always show a little love to you, man. And so I appreciate, just want to tell you that. And I'll probably go get off your career soon, but just let you know that that's why I really support you, man. I appreciate you.
Well, look, I appreciate y'all because, like I say, without having somebody there to listen, to be able to interact with, and then have people who, have it in their heart and in their budget to be able to support, then this thing would really have trouble trying to catch, get some what do you call it? Get some steam moving behind it. You know what I mean? So
Some traction, yeah.
yeah, some traction. So yeah, I'm definitely, and it's good. It's good to even hear your voice. You know what I'm saying? So for a lot of people, like, and I'm sure Addie knows this, and I don't know if you heard it, and or Brian. I know Brian hadn't been here very long, but a lot of us for the first time on the stream had heard Mom's Fur Baby's voice, which I thought was like really dope. A lot of people heard Pamela for the first time, heard Keyshawn for the first time, got on there and Keyshawn put it down for like I still need to. I don't know why I didn't post that. I think I left it up. If I didn't, I still have it. I'll need to post it. But a lot of people got a chance to be heard for the first time rather than just being an avatar to name in the chat. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, if I have a platform, then just know that you guys also have a voice as well. So when y'all ask me, hey, can you call in? You absolutely can. If I'm live, you can call in.
Yeah, I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
So,
but it's about midnight where I'm at, so let me go ahead and cut sling, military jargon.
Okay, well, do you want to go ahead and I used to do this even back in the day. I'm gonna go ahead and give you your closing thoughts, and then we'll go to Addie and Brian. You want to go ahead and give your closing thoughts, Mookie?
Well, I love the AFC. I actually was watching you from the beginning when you had the other platform you dig, but the way that you transform it into this particular platform and how you actually advocate for the kids and actually, doing great things, man. And, like Mom Fur Babies, I see how she supports you. And it took me a while to actually get to the point where I can actually start donating on a regular basis. But I think I actually sent you an email prior before that, like, I wish I could send it. Then I start sending it, and then, it started pretty much being from there. So all I'm saying, man, is I appreciate you doing, and just keep up the good work, keep up the good fight. And whenever I catch you live, you'll see me in the chat, and I get your support, and hopefully we can build this to be a bigger thing, man. So with that, that's my closing thoughts, bro.
Man, definitely appreciating it. Dang, he said he's been watching pretty much since the beginning. That's kind of dope. That's kind of dope. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do, when I took over the platform as far as like a topic-based thing. And I just said, how about I do what I know best, what I love best? And I always tell people, like, if they participate in being like a content creator, I've always tried to encourage people, just do what's in your heart. And kids have always been in my heart. I used to be a camp counselor, which a lot of you guys know that. If you didn't know, then you know now. But yes, I've always loved kids. It's always been that way. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem, man. But hey, the rest of you guys take care. Addie, Brian, y'all take care. And
all right,
on the next stream.
All right, we'll see.
Take care, man.
All right, man.
All right, Addie, you want to give your closing thoughts?
Can I ask actually a question that brought up something I've actually been wondering about for a while? I don't know if you can talk about this or if you want to, but how did it go from the Soto You Dig to the AFC podcast? Was that Tommy's and then you took it over and then how did it?
Yes, we can talk about it. And I'll do my best not to ruffle any Canadian feathers out there, but I'll do my best to try to give you guys a little education about how it came about. So, for the people who are familiar with Tommy, and shout out to Tommy, by the way, I don't know if he's listening or if he's out there right now, but...
Shout out, Tommy. I love you, man. I'm sorry.
Tommy was in a position, and a lot of people, even where he's at right now, where he's had to create multiple channels. I'm sure Tommy would have loved to just been on one channel this entire time he's been on YouTube. But unfortunately, free speech ain't free no more. And people don't want you to have an opinion and to be able to speak your mind and speak your thoughts and speak your quote unquote truth. So what people figured out that they could do was that you could hit this little stupid button on YouTube and you could get people's entire channels knocked off. And so once they figured that out, it was just so messed up that not only were they doing it to videos, but they were doing it to entire channels. And he was forced to go from one channel to the next channel to the next channel then you look up, and then once YouTube reinstates some of those channels, now you look up and you got just a crap ton of channels. And it's just like, well, what do you do with them? They have subscribers. They have a base built in. They can be utilized for something. So what he started doing was making different content for different channels and kind of seeing what kind of picks up here and there. And then he realized like, hey, you know what? Maybe what I can do is, since these channels have a built-in base and a lot of people have things that they want to say and stuff that they want to try to do, how about I try to make it to where, okay, if this channel has 1,000 subs or a couple thousand subs, we'll let some people try to run it and do some things. So initially, when this channel got started, it was started because he didn't want to put the panel shows on his main channel. So he said, I'll just make a channel for the panels for people who want to call in. Because at the time, having these type of conversations was kind of like conference calling, kind of like how we're doing now, was a brand new concept at that time. And it was people doing it, but we didn't know much about it. So he said, I'm going to just make a channel for that. Hey, you know, he promoted it, told people to come over there, boom. So he was running it, doing videos, and then he got to a point where he was like, you know what? If y'all want to be on here for a long time, I can actually put people in charge of it, and y'all do your own thing over here. Grow it and build it into something. So it got to a point to where it was some positivity in there, and then there was, of course, some fuckery. You know what I mean? Because it's just like when you just leave people to their own devices, they're gonna just do what's in their heart, right? If you ask me. So I've watched it, have some good topics. I always thought the shows were good when they actually had topics, and Tommy kind of just let it be its own thing. So he stepped away from it and he said, y'all run it. It's your thing. Y'all do it. And at that point, it was kind of like a separation. Like I'll be kind of like watching, from the weeds, but I'm gonna let y'all do what y'all do. I've helped, kind of raise the subscriber base into something. Now y'all take it and do something with it. And at that point, it was basically the people's responsibility to turn it into something and do something with it. And what you noticed happen was people really just wanted to, instead of having a bunch of serious topics and do serious shows and bring in people that want to really turn it into something, everybody just wanted to have fun and play grab ass and just, I don't think people took it really seriously. And you look up and like, I just don't understand like what, hold on. Got to get that out of here. Do me a favor. As a reminder, guys, do not post your personal information in the chat, okay? If you need to get in contact with somebody, shoot me an email and I will pass your information on to those people, okay? So again, do not post your personal emails in the chat for any reason, for your protection. Now, it was the people's responsibility. I'm going to do my best to try to not call anybody out by name. I have never believed in, giving people pub like that, right? But it seemed to me, in my humble opinion, that it became just a whole bunch of let's talk about some bullshit. Let's talk about sex and let's talk about, whose titties is bigger than whose and just a bunch of just I don't know. It just wasn't productive. It wasn't interesting. It was going on for too long. I mean, like the show. Matter of fact, if the shows the shows were actually capped at 8 hours because Google Hangouts would actually stop the stream at 8 hours. Otherwise, they probably would have stayed running. So the system literally capped it. You know what I mean? So it just, and then it got to a point to where the people who ended up running it at the very end kind of just got to a point to where they were just like, you know what? I'm gonna bring these people to my personal channel, and and that's where I want to kind of bring those people and build up my support base for my personal thing, right? So at that point, This channel literally was just another channel that was started by Tommy, among a lot of channels. We had the the conspiracy channel, which, people kind of abused the trust there. What else did we have? We had the sports channel, which I tried to be a part of that, which I thought I wanted more structure to it. I thought it had a lot of potential, but I personally like structure. And a lot of you guys who know me know that I like structure. I don't give a damn if I have to have an entire script of what I'm going to say and a whole bunch of notes, but that's just what I'm going to do. I mean, I'm just a methodical type person. So, had the sports show, had a politics show, had a panel show, had a conspiracy show. All of these things were ran by the people. So it wasn't just me that had an opportunity to take a channel that didn't have a lot of momentum or traction or really anybody really paying attention to it at that moment to turn it into something. But there were a number. Oh, I forgot about that. Thank you. The Voltron Network. There were a lot of opportunities for people to take a channel that was started by Tommy and turn it into something. Now, whether they turned it into something or not, I'm pretty sure, that's kind of obvious at this point.
I'm not aware of any others.
Yeah, me too.
Like I say, and I don't want to use my platform right here, right now, to disparage people individually, but I do know that there were a large amount of individuals who have had opportunities to take a blessing like a channel that starts with a subscriber base and turn it into something. Like, because a lot of people think that you've made it once you get 1,000 subs or 2,000 subs or 4,000 subs or whatever the case is, right? That means nothing if you don't provide content that people want to see, that people want to continue to sub to, that people want to, like I like to say, you bring somebody in. It means nothing if you're not taking it and going somewhere with it. So hopefully that kind of explains where we got to the point of where we are now. The channel was literally sitting, I believe, for like 3 months. There weren't any videos coming to this channel, but that was kind of normal because if you go to the sports channel, you look on there, it hadn't been a video posted in 6 months. You go over to the politics channel, it hadn't been a video posted in almost like a year or 2 years. You know what I mean? Just channels that are sitting, and I think those channels still exist.
So
Just sitting.
were you just inspired at some point to direct it towards helping babies?
What I said was, this is a channel that I have access to, and I said that I know what people were used to, and I said I kind of want to do my own thing and see where that goes. And I knew initially people have already told me that they don't like what I do. They don't like me. They don't like my structure. They don't like, oh my God, like he always has to have a topic and a subtopic and this and that. And I'm just like, I think that type of thing makes it productive. And even like my brother Relationship Rehab, shout out to him. I can mention his name. But even I think that my brother used to give me credit for that, just saying the fact that, the panels became way more engaging when you not only gave everybody a voice, gave everybody a chance, gave everybody something to focus on, and then gave everybody their closing thoughts. And that's one thing that always resonates with me, with him giving me credit for, really just having that type of structure. And I really appreciate him saying that. But just kind of carrying that same mantra of having structure and talking about stuff that matters. And if you think about it, how much stuff in the world can you talk about that matters? You could talk about investing, that matters. You could talk about mental health, that matters. You could talk about, how Black Lives Matter ain't doing shit out here in the streets, really for real Black lives that actually should matter, the children. We could talk about that. We could talk about domestic violence, that matters. You got a lot of people that only want to talk about hot topics and celebrities and who fucking who and whose album just flopped. And I get it. There's content out there. Hell, you could make a channel just focusing on pets and animals.
Oh yeah.
I told y'all, I personally subscribe to the Dodo. I love animals. I'm just saying.
The most dangerous word to say on Twitter is all life matters.
Oh yeah.
Seriously.
I'm sure it is. That's a trigger word right now. That's a trigger term.
All right.
Yeah.
So how do you know Tommy in the first place? Did you meet him on YouTube?
Yes, met him on YouTube. But on top of that, I've actually met Tommy in person. So a lot of people might not know that. But I do DJ in real life. So if people watch the stream that I did this past Saturday on the channel, even though that video is not going to get any monetization for all the copyrighted music that I played, but nonetheless, you got to change. And DJ Matt 121 saw me DJ, but I actually do DJ in real life. But so what it was when Tommy was actually, you know what? I take that back. Let me pause on that for a moment. when I first and I've got Ashley on here. Ashley, I'm gonna let you speak here in just a moment. But the first time I actually met him in person, he was doing a live show in Dallas, which was the it was the it wasn't the anti-PC tour. The first one was the God dang it, what was it? Let me see if I can find the picture. Truth and Logic, the Truth and Logic tour. So that was his first tour, and I actually met him for the first time in Dallas, and I still have that picture of me and him that we took at that tour. And then I think when he did the anti-PC tour, when I found out that he was going to be in Dallas and Houston, I hit him up, and I was just like, yo, like you got to let me come DJ. You know what I'm saying? So I've met him in person at least 3 times, but I met him originally on YouTube, and the first video I ran across of Tommy was a video that he was giving commentary on a story on the Maury show. You are the baby daddy show.
Yeah.
And what it was this older woman that raped a 13-year-old boy and had a baby by him.
Oh, I think I've seen that story.
That's
not, so nasty.
Not only was his commentary viral, but it was my first time watching him, and what he said just made so much sense, and I was just like, yo, I gotta subscribe. And so the more videos I saw, I just could, you know, it makes you want to participate. It's very similar to what the AFC is doing, and we want to be inclusive. Like we don't want you to feel like a piece of shit. Like we don't want you to feel like your life sucks. Like we want you to feel like we want you to do something. Make this better. Don't just look at this and just be like, well, that's just the way life is. Like we want you to be active in your own way and give these babies a voice. So I'm hoping that's kind of how, I don't even know if that even sounds right with me saying that, but I don't know. Somehow that made sense. Somehow.
No, that sounds correct. And if y'all have not seen A Fatherless America, like, you just have to. You have to watch it. But on the structure, I was kind of gonna go off on, like, how fucked I think the situation in Chicago is. I think we all know how it is. But I do want to
hold on, Addie. Hold that thought real quick. We got DJ Matt on here, and we got Ashley. Once you finish saying what you're saying, Addie, I'm going to let Ashley go, and then I'm going to let DJ Matt speak. But go ahead and what you were saying, Addie.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to just comment a little bit on the structure. Like, I personally love structure. That's just me. But I think that it makes it most, it makes it easiest to take in. It makes it the most palatable the way that we do it, because you kind of, it's always the same for one thing, and that I feel like when you can count on things, it helps you to build trust. You can build trust, and you can build like cohesion, and then that creates better. It's just a better route to change. But I think, like, you know, as we do like the shout outs, kind of like lead in, we got the music, you know, we talk a little bit, we get into the story, and then the news footage and everything. I think that it just kind of helps to build up to it, rather than, say, if we just opened up with just into the news footage of these like horrible things happening to little children. Mm-hmm. It just makes it easier to hear, easier to take on. Because let's face it, guys, none of us want to hear these stories. None of us want to listen to that. But they deserve it. Like, it's the least we could do. These are our babies. So I think that it makes it easiest for people to be able to do it in their heart when the structure is there to sort of build up to it. And then I think it works well also because, like, you're saying facts. Like, we're all about facts here, and so you're saying that, and then you're backing it up immediately with the news footage right away, so that, you know, no one feels the need to flag you or try to say we're just giving opinions. It's not. It's about facts. So
absolutely,
I appreciate the structure. I think a lot of us do.
What do you think about that, Ashley? You back with us?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, good to hear your voice. What do you think?
My phone died, so I don't know just being said, but I hate to hurry up and put it back on.
Okay, got you. Well, you can speak on either the current story that we did tonight or just on the platform in general. But what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are I actually have a question for you. Like, far as when you do these podcasts, like, have you ever met any like other families? And I know you did one of the podcasts I watched. You said, "Oh yeah, if anybody's come to me, I will put up some money in order to get this person. Make sure this kid is okay." And all of this. Have you ever met any other families or ever anybody talk to you?
I've talked to them by email. I've talked to them over the phone. Now, over the years, I've met people who have been in the chat, like like when I DJ for Tommy in Dallas and Houston. I've met some people like that also. And then because I travel to Oklahoma City a lot, I've met a few people in Oklahoma City. But as far as like people who have been directly impacted by the stories, I can't think of anybody in recent memory. I think the closest that I've been to anybody so far is probably the family in Stockton, California. But of course, I haven't been to California before. So, but my plan was to try to pick a day, especially like while the trial is going on, and try to make one of those dates. Try to make sure I can make time on my schedule to be there for that.
Oh,
So
yeah, because I've been watching I think for like a month now, but I watch stuff all the time. I watch your podcast now like almost every day. My fiance is starting to get a little agitated. He's like, "You watching this again?" But I go from Crime Watch to all these documentaries to now I'm like, okay, now I can watch this podcast. So,
well, tell him tell him tell him DJ Just Jay said thank you very much, and I'm honored that he allowed you to at least support us in the way that you have. I'm truly honored. Okay.
Thank you. Yes, I'm going to keep watching. And I had a question like, how often do you stream? Because
I stream as often as I can, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was so freaking tired I was DJing in the freaking country. It was like 100+ degrees outside. I would have streamed Sunday, but my body literally was just like, I can't. But I try my best in a best case scenario, Sunday through Thursday, and if I'm not DJing on the weekend, I'll do shows as often as I possibly can. But my goal is try to do about 5 days a week if I can. But one thing you might notice, and DJ Matt, I'm gonna get you in here in just a moment, bro. But another thing that I've also tried to do is even when there's a lull in me uploading the content, I try to make sure and put up the short videos, and I'm sure some of y'all have seen those. Because some of them actually went viral. Some of the short videos went viral.
Yeah, I just recently watched one from my city, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in Baltimore, so
be more. Yeah,
that's crazy.
What you think, DJ Matt? What's happening with you, bro?
What's going on, DJ Just Jay? How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good. It's good to hear your voice.
I hope everybody's good and everything. I just want to say, I definitely appreciate your platform and appreciate your platform and what you're doing with the kids and everything. And as far as the Chicago violence, I'm from here and I still don't understand it. Can you hear me?
Yep. Oh, I'm just listening. I'm just listening to you. I wanted you to elaborate, actually.
What? Elaborate on the violence?
As far as like, in your opinion, I'm gonna tell you something that was very encouraging to me and probably to even the people on the panel and the people who are listening in the chat right now. But I was very encouraged to watch those people there talking about that they had the $25,000 in hand in cash. That group of people right there, that was the business owners that were putting up the money, and they were just like, "Yo, even if you turn your own self in, we're gonna put up some money on your legal fees." And I was like, not only is that an awesome solution, but the fact that they're willing to put their faces, their businesses, and their lives on the line to try to make a change. That was very encouraging to me because I kept thinking, I'm just like, maybe just Chicago just don't give a fuck. There's nobody there who gives a fuck. And I know that's not the reality because it's not all, but it's just so much going on.
Yeah, and I definitely think that was an excellent idea. And I think what gets me, and let's go back to what you and Tommy and Brian and all you guys talk about. How can you say, how can people say, well, talk about the whole all situation when we're not talking about all, but we are saying it's
too many.
Almost the majority. It's too many of them acting like, well, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
I was waiting on Master P to come in and start rapping.
It ain't my fault.
I know, right? I was waiting on, and no offense, but I was waiting on Biggie to come talking about some kick in the door, wave in the 4-4.
Kurt Dog would appreciate that one.
and here's my thing. Not only with okay, I know it's violence out here. I get it. But when you start talking about some you can't tell me what to do, we got a problem. So and here's the thing. I think structure has been lost within a lot of the younger generation versus, you all, the older generation. Structure was lost.
Yeah.
Everybody want to say, you can't tell me what to do, but then, okay, can't tell you what to do. Let's go with that. Then what about the police? So how you gonna say you can't tell me what to do, but then call the police, but then say you want to defund the police department? And here's my thing. And here's my thing. I know that they want to defund the police department. Okay, they funded the police department here in Chicago. What's gonna happen? You probably won't be hearing from me because I'll be dead because they want to talk about we need to fund the police department.
Anarchy.
I would say move as fast as you can.
It's just gonna get worse. Get bad.
Oh yeah.
You can work at Walmart. I'm sorry. You can work at Walmart, and somebody tell you they're gonna take $2 away from your hourly pay. Where you think you want to be? You ain't gonna want to be there. Like, all right, you already took $2 from me. I don't want to work here. I ain't gonna be on time.
You're gonna get a lower quality. Yes.
Right.
And then I think what really got me. Okay, you had Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, even go back to Trayvon Martin and all the other black people that was killed by white police officers. Okay, that's that's that handful. But then you look at all the black people killing black people. It's still the black people killing black people. That's higher than that.
By and large.
It's like it's so the number with that it's so big. I had literally stopped counting. So when they say, well, we need to come kill Jay and Tommy and all these other folks, I'm like, no, we don't. We need these folks.
And what's funny about that is I try not to take too much stuff personally. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know if any of y'all can relate to this, but I come from a gang background. It's just like I know when shit get real in the field. You feel me? So it's just like if I get a chance to let some bullshit go, I'm gonna let it go. Like I'm kind of cool on that. Like I ain't got time to be doing a life sentence. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah, and
I don't be wanting to have no beef with people like that. So I try to let a lot of shit go. But it seems like what people want to do is they want to do whatever they can to shut down your opinion.
Yeah, and then here's another thing. You would hear them say, they want to listen to all that rap music, but then got a problem with the way you all
that we speak. Wow.
And the way you all speak and the conversations that we're having, they need to be had. But you shouldn't have a problem with the way we speaking, but you can listen to all that fucking rap music. Sorry for my language, but
that is that. But you know what? I've heard Tommy talk about that a lot, and it's just crazy how the type of things what they say in the music, that's real. That's the real disparaging portion right there.
Yeah.
They talking about he hate black women and he hate his people, and I'm like, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that this dude talking about smacking a bitch, fuck a bitch, throw a bitch in the ditch, and so none of that is disparaging. Apparently, I guess that's all well and good.
Yeah, you guys. So I guess when Ludacris came out with the song "Move B, Get Out the Way," that was positive. But when you all talk, oh, now we got a problem.
Well, ladies, what y'all
Can I
think? What y'all
ask a
think?
quick question? It's Matt that's talking right now, right?
Yes.
So Matt, have you been like, has it affected you personally? Have you heard it? Have you had relatives affected? Like, are you okay? Like, tell us more about that if you could.
Yeah, personally, I personally know people who either were caught up in the whole lifestyle, either dead or in jail. And the thing about that is, I'm still trying to figure out why people think that's it's a cool, avenue to go. It's a cool thing to do. That's not cool, because you gotta watch your back. You gotta do XYZ. It's just crazy.
Mm-hmm. I've been there, done it. I was in a gang.
And it's like, how many more funerals do you want to go to before somebody wake up and say, this is not cool?
Just this year alone, I think there was 1, 2, 3, like 6 or 7 funerals I could have went to this year.
Yeah.
And they're all in Oklahoma.
Wow.
All of them.
Okay.
And I'm always shocked when people be like, "Damn, I didn't know it was that bad out there in Oklahoma." I'm like, "Yeah, it's just as bad as a lot of places are. Just maybe not. It doesn't normally get the national attention, so to say. But yeah, like two people that I knew. One of them I actually was friends with. The other guy I just knew, but I think they were murdered not even 3 or 4 weeks ago. I posted it on my Instagram.
I'm sorry to hear that.
All I can do. Like, it's just, man, it's so many funerals. I can't be just up and just going to every freaking funeral. And plus, on top of that, I do believe in paying a last homage to people, and I get it. But I'd much rather pay people's respects while they can actually hear me pay them respects in real life.
Definitely.
While you're walking, while you're living and breathing, and we can go kick it. We can go talk on the phone. I could give, like they say, I could give you your flowers while you're here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely.
And what's so sad is so many of the stories that we watch and hear about in the news is you'll see people doing these fucking wild ass balloon releases and shit out there killing turtles and sharks and shit. You know what I'm saying? Harming the environment. Not only is your loved one dead, but you're out here killing some, these animals that nature and people love. But we are so willing to give people these balloons and candlelit vigils while they dead, but you wouldn't even take a motherfucker balloon while they alive.
Yeah, and
on their birthday.
It's power lines too.
Yeah,
Don't do balloons. Not cool.
Yeah,
it happens every day around here.
Yeah,
every day, every second.
Yeah,
underneath me, somebody got shot at like a week ago in my apartment underneath me.
Damn.
And I hear your Baltimore accent.
Yeah. See, I tried to say it good, like, oh, Baltimore, but it's Baltimore over here. You never say it right.
And I always looked at it like, if you can go to a comedy show or listen to all this rap music, you should be able to listen to Jay and Brian and all you guys speak. All you all talk. That's how I look at it.
Right.
I mean, I listen to what's his name? Young Pharaoh.
Mm-hmm.
Is that his name?
Pharaoh.
Yeah. I listen to his YouTube. He be speaking facts about a lot of stuff.
And I think we should. And here's the thing: I think we should just have, opinions and whatnot. But when you start talking about some like Jay was just mentioning, have folks be sending him emails and Tommy and all them. When you be doing that, that's going a little bit too overboard. Why don't you go get up and take your kids to school? See how your kids' day is going. Some constructive.
They waste a lot of energy in something that they say that they hate.
Yeah, like me. If I see something that I don't like, I'm gonna say, okay, I got to go the other way. I'm not gonna, let me send Jay an email about something he said. Cause
man, they do it so often, bro. It's like disheartening sometimes, and I'm just like, oh God, not again.
I ain't even trying to be funny, Jay. But for them to send you emails, do you know by the time they finish sending you emails, do you know they could have got up and went down to their local school council, went to the PTA meetings, to the mayor's office, all that stuff that made sense?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think about this. I think about
They
this.
getting away. They getting away with stuff right now because the social 14 thing. These parents ain't going to school. They don't care.
Exactly.
They don't care right now.
Yeah, and it's almost like they getting away with murder. Like I heard Jay, I don't remember what stream this was, but I heard Jay mention in one of the streams where people got money to buy all this other stuff, but when it comes to just making sure they kids and just making sure their communities is straight, they ain't gonna do that.
They buy all of that bullshit. They got the latest Apple Watches. They got the latest iPhones. They got the latest. Matter of fact, all these motherfuckers that was on finish line, fucking getting those raffle tickets for them new J's about to drop. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you won't see me in that line.
They have money for everything that they want, but they don't invest any money in the things that they need. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah, they start begging for the shit that they get what they want, but beg for the shit they need. That's crazy.
You know what I'm waiting for? The food stamps. This was to come for that pandemic. I don't care about nothing. I need to feed my kids.
Yeah, shit's getting crazy again out there.
I
know Texas got I think we got hit with more restrictions again, which I wasn't looking forward to that. I was kind of hoping that we would get back to normal, but yeah, it's crazy. But there's definitely a lot of things, and y'all just make sure that you guys just educate yourselves, because I don't believe that everything that we're being given is actually good for us. As far as
like George Floyd.
There's a lot of things that are not good for us, whether it be in the media. A lot of the things that we've even talked about the things even with like the protests, and I'll get back to your health here in just a moment, because you see I'm sitting here drinking pH water right now. But when it comes to things that we're being given in the media, I think we're given things that we're supposed to be outraged about, and people just hop right on board. Like, they're just like, gotcha. You know what I'm saying? It's just like those gotcha moments. Like, y'all clearly don't see that they're setting us up for a race war to just hate each other.
Failure.
I mean,
that's all it is. And even for something as simple as this, and I tell people, even though I have sanitizer, I don't know if y'all can see that. Y'all can see that right there, and y'all on the screen can't see it because it's see-through on the screen. But I do have sanitizer, but I don't overly use it. And a lot of people overly use it, but you don't realize that you're actually killing the natural things that your body produces.
Bacteria.
If you use too much sanitizer, so for the people that are still here, if you didn't know that, if you overuse it, it can actually do your skin more harm than good. If you overly wear your mask, it could do you more harm than good. If you are not eating healthy, it could do you more harm than good. And a lot of the things that can actually heal you ain't some fucking magic pill or vaccine. A lot of those things are created in nature. That's how we've been able to live all these tens of thousands of years as human beings before all of this technology came out. Heller.
Yeah. And then
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say another thing. Since the protests and all this stuff then went down, I've heard more black folks call white women Karens and Beckys and all that stuff. And I'm like, how the hell is that moving the culture forward?
Like
Please make
Exactly.
it seems like we're more divided now than we were in the
Right.
60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
hold,
think
hold
people
on,
need to
hold
come
on,
more together with each other.
hold on, real quick. Knowledge, you got to call in now. Click that link that Miss June Bennett posted. You got to call in now because we're about to wrap up. So click that link. I'll let you
Yeah,
speak your
and
mind
I
if
have
you
a
hop on here.
question. With the immunities thing, like with your body building up like natural immunities. Do y'all remember in the 90s, 80s and 90s when we would get chicken pox, one of us would get chicken pox and then they would take the one that had chicken pox round to the other little kids' houses or have them come over. So everybody would get chicken pox and then everybody would have chicken pox.
Yeah, I didn't go through that personally, but I have heard about it. I have heard about
I
that
remember
because once you get it, then your body can develop an immunity to it.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
that what they need to do. I mean, instead of just having us hide from the virus, we all just. I mean, because I think our bodies will be able to adapt to it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, our
Most
bodies
people
adapt to everything else.
Yeah, but we'll have to. I guess we'll have to talk about that another day. But at least y'all kind of understand where we're coming from. Okay, we got knowledge on here. I need one person to who wants to volunteer if I can drop you off so I can bring knowledge in real quick.
I'll volunteer to drop off. Have a good night, everybody.
Hey, salute DJ Matt.
Yep, definitely.
Hi, DJ Matt.
Have
All
a
right,
good
man.
one.
Be safe, man.
All right, let me add knowledge in here. All right, knowledge. We want to spend no more than about 5 or 10 minutes. Let me see if I can hear your voice. Can you say something for me?
Yeah.
I can hear you loud and clear. Good deal. What do you want? What would you like to say?
It's a bigger picture, and I've been trying to get to NBC, ABC, and the rest of them. They've been locking me out for a minute, but with Fred Waller, I had a case where when I first started making complaints against the Chicago Police Department, I was jumped on in 2012 by the Cook County Sheriff's, and IPRA is a separate entity that was here in Chicago. That was with the Laquan McDonald situation. And that was the worst thing I could have did because right after that, my life was a living hell. But on one incident, and I got the paperwork, Fred Waller ruled off knowing that these cops were dirty. We got what you call contact cards here in Chicago, where you make the complaint and then you can ask for the contact card between what happened between you and the officer.
Mm-hmm.
And I never knew who Fred Waller was by face, but I always knew that I had the paperwork, and he was this before he became chief of operations. And
Because he was actually one of the ones who was doing the interview in the video we showed, right?
yeah,
Okay.
he's very dirty. And when I confronted him on the first day of the protest in Chicago, and I didn't do it in front of the white officers because there's a certain place and time for everything, but I pushed him, I talked to him on the side and I said, "Hey, your name is Mr. Fred Waller?" And he said, "Yes, that's my name." And I said, "You was on one of my complaints when the white officers did what they did to me." And I said, as a black man, I trusted black cops to defend me. I said, "Do you know my life has been living hell since you made that happen? I have had nine situations with police, 4 fist fights. They have broken my toe. The last altercation that happened was against the town of Cicero, the same place where you saw the Latino gangs."
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying how they not racist. Well, I would love for them to come and fucking tell me how was I beat up, my toe broken. I was locked in McNeil Hospital psychiatric ward. They was after me because I know I do pro se litigant work on all my cases. So I was representing myself on a lot of issues and trying to get stuff out there for black people to fight back on their rights and stuff. I got the paperwork to the Illinois Department of Human Rights, how corrupt they are. When I made a complaint to them while I was pending my case in the court system, they told me that I would have to take a plea deal and that if I take this plea deal, that it's nothing. But I said, why should I take a plea when the town of Cicero attacked me too? But the town of Cicero was doing a cover up for the CPD because I had a case in a federal court where I found the Chicago Police Department on 70th and Cottage Grove in a lie. They in 2017 they had won and beat me in court. I ended up going to FOIA at 3015 South Michigan, and I wouldn't stop because I said they won because they said the camera wasn't working. But in the paperwork, they get what you call a Chicago Police Department Supervisor's Management Law. That's how I found Fred Waller's name on one of my complaints, along with dozens and dozens of the officers. And so I was fighting this case and appealing to the federal court. The judge, Thomas Durkin, told me that if I bring this situation back up, they was going to sanction me for them committing perjury that he ruled off on. It's bigger than what people think. You got people. I wish I could say more, but I got the paperwork. If I had backup and I knew my people would stand with the paperwork, but they have said they were going to do some things to me. But this it's bigger. You got police working with the lawyers, the lawyers working with the judges, the Illinois Department of Human Rights. I went to them. What they did.
Can I ask you a question, Knowledge?
Sure.
Were you using a public defender, or did you have your private counsel?
Well, when I went to the public defender told me to take a plea. I was my own pro se litigant. I'm a pro se litigant.
why.
That's how I won all my cases, though. Think about it.
You represented yourself?
I got arrested more than 8 times.
Okay, wait. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because I want to just make sure of like because I understand that you're giving us like your story and your history, and I definitely appreciate that, and I definitely appreciate you sharing your story. Tell me this, like when you tell us that story, if you're relating it kind of to like the things that we like, the narrative that we've been shaping about the state of Chicago, like the crisis that's kind of going on. Like how do you relate it back to kind of what's going on?
I'm gonna tell you the state and why the crime is going on. You had me. I'm a college graduate,
and it's a little bit hard. It's a little bit hard to hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm a college graduate. You got there's a lot of gang violence going on, as well as there's a lot of other criminal activities going on. But when you get to our community, it's just like around on 63rd, and you could say around like Western. The closest police department is like on 63rd and like St. Louis or something. That whole police department is white and Hispanic. Very few black cops.
You gotta project a little bit more, just like get the phone closer.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, that's better. Thank you.
You get what you call just a whole bunch of you don't have that many black officers in these districts, and it's very few. And what happens is when you go to the police stations, it's mainly other races in the group. You have a disparity amongst how many of when you go to a Latino neighborhood, you have a lot of Latino cops. When you go to a lot of black areas, you do have black cops, but they mixed in with other races. We're like the only group out of all the communities where we don't have the majority of people like you and I, where they can kind of, it's just like if you're not familiar with a certain group and the way they behave, you look at everybody as criminals. So I had more bad encounters with, I would say, white officers, other officers than I have with black, but I have had encounters with a lot of black officers, and a few was bad, as well as I had a few with white. So I think if they could kind of give the black community, in my eyes, black cops, because we can kind of control them.
Ooh.
We can control
I
the black
gotta stop
officers.
you there, bro. I gotta stop you there, and let me tell you why. Because we've already seen an example of that. Can I tell you where?
Sure.
Boston. They got the black people got so tired and said that the white people, the white cops were being so racist, they gave them their own police squad. And guess what ended up happening to the what do they call it? The police brutality. Actually, the violence against the people went up with all black cops against black people. We've seen examples where that don't work. And matter of fact, like I know there are actually people in California that can attest to this because I've actually heard stories of matter of fact, you remember it was even shown in a movie. What was that movie? It was God dang it, Boys in the
The
Hood.
black and white.
Boys,
Boys in the Hood.
you remember Boys in the Hood? Who was the worst
I was
cop?
just about to say that.
You remember who was the worst cop that they had to deal with?
That black cop.
That black man, that black cop.
So not only did they show that in film, but it's people that have actually spoken on those experiences. Matter of fact, I could tell you even from my personal experience, one of the worst police experiences I had and one of the most fearful times I've ever been in was I got pulled over by a Lawton, Oklahoma police officer. And it was a big, huge black guy. And I'm going to tell you something. There are places in Oklahoma that are still racist to this day. And when I say racist, of course, I'm talking about prejudice and bigoted. But since we've changed the terminology of what racism actually means, then we know that that's technically the new terminology, racist. And I've been in racist towns where I've been arrested by those racist police and still didn't get treated as bad as a brother who pulled me over for, I think, going 5 miles over the speed limit. And you would have thought that I had a Kia Coke in the back of the trunk. Or,
Well, you know
or a
what?
dead body in the back.
I can say that's true as well.
In their own
And
game. You
you,
gotta
but
think
you
about
get
it.
but you get what you call. I know we all are old enough to have officer there. And see, I was raised in the projects here in Chicago where we had black officers that used to talk to us back in the early 90s and the late 80s. They used to conversate with us and come to the class. They knew your mother. A lot of them stayed in the neighborhood. If something was going down with me, they would take you to your parents, and your parents would talk to Officer Williams. Officer, that as we look at where we are from 25 years from wherever that may be, or 30 years later, we got a whole new breed of cops and a whole different type of scheme. I know we all deal with it. Wasn't officers when you was coming up, officer there, officer, or people that your family knew that was in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Are you asking me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the dare officers, they teach you about drugs, and then they knew your parents, they knew your father.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
that's
we
the
we
type
had
of
we had white cops even at our schools.
see where I was from. We had black cops, and they would come and they as a black male, it was good. I knew Officer Shiver.
I
I
don't
knew
remember us
Officer
having
Wilson.
any cops when I was in elementary or middle school, but I definitely remember high school. All 4 years I was there. It was a white cop. He was cool. He was kind of laid back, but then we didn't have no bunch of bullshit going on either though.
Yeah, I
And,
mean,
and,
you know,
and, and
where I
we
was,
we was in the north side in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
See,
you know,
I'm anybody from Chicago know I'm Allgill Gardens, and they tell you that's one of the roughest areas you can actually go to. It's actually the largest public housing, and that's where I grew up at. You know, and fortunately, I was good to make it out. However, when I came into the police as I got older, and after I realized, like, I'm not a part of this whole criminal thing. When I look at the disparity across the board, it's politically everything is ran off of resources. And with those resources, we never had the time to actually have the great cops either in our neighborhood. Because when you deprive a community of resources anywhere, just where you go to slums all around the world, even in Illinois, Chicago, New York, anywhere, when you don't have resources, it's going to be crime increases. And since they have been locking black people out and you put police off, and you're not paying these police officers enough money, you have a problem. And you notice the good
Right, but what does that have
officers,
to do with them all being black? Like, why does that? Why would
because
that?
if you're not paying these good cops great, you find federal agents, and I'm gonna tell you something about federal agents. They don't hire people who cannot shoot. They don't just hire anybody to come and work for them. You have to know how to shoot and aim. If you look at a lot of these cops, whether they be black, white, whatever, a lot of these cops are not well trained, and they get paid cheap, little low budget dollars to government our community. If you're a federal agent, they not about to shoot 20 times. If you can't hit one time or shoot one time, when I see 20 bullets or you say 16 shots in Laquan McDonald, he should have been hit in the hand, right? But why did it take all those shots? Because you got Go ahead.
What does this have to do? How does this wrap back around to only having black cops if it's a black neighborhood?
Because
does that mean only white cops in a white neighborhood too?
Because the whole police. Okay, when you look at the slave patrol started with the KKK being the cops. From there, you still had people. In order to be a black cop, you had to fit into the system. And we never ever had a chance where you look back at how the history of the cops began. It never ever been a total whole analysis of that system. So now when they say defund the cops, they basing it off, well, since most of the cops in the community and the people, if you ask most of the black people, even all in the streets, they'll tell you they had more bad incidents, plenty more, with white racist cops than they had with black officers.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
My brother was killed in 2011 by a police officer. He tried to make it like it was, oh yeah.
I had two cousins killed.
Yeah, but let me tell you who killed them. A black officer. So you can't say, oh, it's because of a white officer. No, it was a black officer. You gotta forget. Sometimes you gotta remember, police. Everybody want to put it under. Oh, it's just white people. No, it's all different races. They like a gang themselves, and they gotta protect us. But sometimes they gotta protect themselves, and they protecting their own. Like if we go out and be like, yeah, Black Lives Matter, we all thinking about Black lives the whole time. We not. Like, have you seen a video of the black woman who confronted the white cop about, you can't be out here, she pushed a lady or something? You can't always feel like it's just about this black and white situation with these cops or black and white situation all the time, because it's very variety of people. The one thing we don't have is peace within each other. We fighting each other the whole time. It's way above that.
I think our problems are a lot more simple than that, and I think that's part of where it gets really convoluted. But let me give, if you don't mind, let me give Keisha. Oh shit, she just hopped off. Dang it, Keyshawn. If you can hear me, hop back on. I was just getting ready to.
They probably even the camera.
See,
she'll probably hop back on here in a minute.
This is one of the incidents. I'll show you now. This is the latest.
Bro, don't put that. Oh well, I guess we can't see him, right?
Yeah. It's just us watching this. I don't have him on screen, so it's okay. Unless you don't want them to see.
No. Wait a minute.
I just think our problems are a lot more simple than that, and I just believe that if in general, if we have better relationships with people in general, it can go a long way. And that's why I also believe, and I've heard Tommy talk about this, and I've heard other people mention this, that sometimes the healthiest thing you could do is travel, see other things, see other places, and I don't know if you know any people like this. But I actually know people who ain't never even left their own city blocks. Ain't never seen outside of their own cities, let alone it's a big ass world out there. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
And it teaches you so much. But let me let Keyshawn go, because I could speak about that a lot. But I know we got to wrap this up pretty quick. Keyshawn, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, I definitely want to give you a chance, give you the floor here since you hopped on. So we'll give you a moment.
I came on just for 2 reasons.
I can't hear you, sweetheart.
You sound far away.
Maybe closer.
Okay.
I don't know if you maybe have
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead. Yep.
That's better.
Can you hear me now?
It's a little. It's a
Can you hear
little.
me?
Yeah, it's a little bit better. I don't know if you have like a maybe a different microphone selected, but go ahead.
I just came on to tell you that Knowledge wanted to talk to you. My daughter Ariana said hi,
Oh, tell her.
and then Alice, family member, she said they did a video of Little Billy and asked had we at the AFC had saw it.
Oh,
So I didn't know if you wanted to pull it up.
I didn't hear what you said. I need you to say that again. I didn't catch what you said. Who's got stuff going on in the background?
I don't know what's going on. That's somebody outside or something. Okay, Alice, Little Billy's relative, is in the chat. I don't know if she's still there.
Okay.
She said they did a video and she asked had we, the AFC, have seen it. I don't know if you wanted to pull it up or not.
What video was it? What was in the video?
I guess it's like a memorial video. I'm not sure. I don't know if she's still in the chat or not, but she was asked, she had asked you twice, have we seen it?
Oh, okay. Look, I'm the worst person to ask if I see something in the chat. Let me see if she inboxed me.
And my daughter Ariana said hi.
Tell her I said hi.
She said hi, Ariana. And I just wanted to say that I love us and what we do. You keep being you. Don't change for nobody. Curse, act a fool, do whatever you got to do. I got your back.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that,
And we
Keyshawn,
stay
for sure.
Look, and we stay strapped. So we good.
That's good, man. I definitely think that all of us should definitely, be taking advantage of our Second Amendment rights, because I don't look at guns as these dangerous things. I look at them as tools. Just like if you have a toolbox and you need to fix your vehicle, or you need to fix your motorcycle like me, or you got your kitchen utensils, it's literally a tool. And this tool can actually be used. Yeah. You know what I mean? But to really kind of wrap this thing up and put a nice little neat bow on it, I do get what Knowledge is saying. I understand what he's saying, and what I believe ultimately to fix that type of issue and that type of problem is just the fact that a lot of us can't relate to each other as human beings anymore. The police don't see us as human beings. They see us as we the police, y'all are the citizens, rather than we're all human. And vice versa. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to all of these different groups, when it comes to black, white, Mexican, Chinese, African, whatever it is, we all see each other as those things as opposed to humans, as opposed to finding things that we have in common. And one thing that I have found out, even with dealing with the police or dealing with thugs or dealing with managers or supervisors or whatever it is the more that you find in common with people, the better you tend to get along with people. And I just think that as the world, definitely in America, I just don't think that we're willing to put in the work to find what we have in common with people. And I think that's where the change can actually happen effectively. So think about this. Even like with dealing with hard-headed people and thugs and stuff like that, a lot of times if you find something that you got in common with somebody, a lot of that BS goes out the window.
It does.
And I think that should come from a place of love. And when people talking about, we need to love and we need more hugs, and I just think that we need to be able to relate better to each other, no matter what the circumstance is. Because one thing that I've always believed, and I've heard Tommy mention this many times, and I got to give him credit because he covers so much stuff. But one thing that I've noticed is that poverty doesn't always mean that it's going to be crime ridden. Because you've seen places that are impoverished like a motherfucker, who live like third and fourth world countries, and they don't have the type of violence and things that we have, because a lot of them they have learned to relate to each other. They understand each other's struggle. They understand where each other is coming from.
Okay, but here in Chicago, let me just say this. Here in Chicago is different. It's a lot of, this is one of the richest cities in America. It's also one of the most political cities and most mob town cities in America. And when you
I was going to relate on that.
When you have all this money out here, and you have anybody been to Chicago, I remember I worked downtown once, and I had a white girl ask me once, and she was very cool. She says, "Where are black people at? Where's the black neighborhood?" I said, "Well, baby, you downtown. You know that's why." And she said, "Well, that's crazy. I see them walk around, but I don't see the hoods." And like I was telling her, I said, "Well, everybody that comes here says it's segregated. So when you see all the crime and stuff going, a lot of the black people are locked out of resources. You can work downtown, but as far as you stand down here, you can't live down here like that. And that's just the honest truth. Is that you got a lot of the resources on the outskirts of the city. It's no resources coming in. But when you go to places like Rosemont, where it's like all white, where the airport is coming in because that's what their money is coming in at, and
That's
you got a lot of
Mobville. Rosemont is Mobville.
right. It's a small ville, but what I'm saying is, you would never catch them have black officers on a police report, on a force like
Nope,
that. Like you catch, if
not
it
gonna
was
happen.
equality everywhere, it should be black police officers in these places where it's all white towns. I'm quite sure there's a few black people staying there, but they even tell you they had problems with a lot of people who was doing the, applying for those positions, and simply because of their race, they wasn't be able to get it. So there's a lot of issues across the board besides the killing. You had people locked out of wealth, and that's when we talk about reparations and other stuff. Is because when you get a group of people locked out of wealth and they see all these other people hiding things, crime will take place. It may not be something I'm into or me and you, but you got other people who feel like, well, hey, if they want to lock me out, I'm going to try to take it from the people that they're giving it to. Where there may be some black people
Hey,
that
no.
don't have it.
Hey,
Well, I
no.
live in Baltimore.
You are, you are
And
absolutely
I feel
correct.
like
Hold on one second.
Hold on, we're
Hold
all
on. Hold on one
we're
second.
all talking over each other. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up right
Hold on a
there.
minute.
But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give everybody their closing thoughts. So who wants to start first? And we'll go down the list.
I'm talking.
Okay.
Sean. Okay, I wanted to rebuttal to knowledge. You are absolutely correct. But my brother, knowledge is the key. The word knowledge is the key. No disrespect, Jay. I'm just gonna say this and I'm off. Black people do things to themselves. If you're looking for reformation, you're never gonna get it. Okay, so stop looking for it. And then you said that because the people don't get it, they're going to go out and take and do whatever they want to. Let me just say this and get off of here. I'm from Detroit, born and raised. That's right next door to Chicago. I'm
Same here.
disappointed in Detroit. All those vacant houses, all that crap going on. All the elders point out to the youngins. All the youngins wanted to gang bang and be drug dealers and all that. You go your butt to jail. You got to call on the elders to bail your ass out. They done put up the titles for their houses and their cars. They had heart attacks and strokes and died. The corner liquor stores closing up at 5 o'clock because the Arab people that been there for generations, letting people feed their family. Now they're getting robbed, so they can't stay open long. Chicago is full of it. Malarkey. It is generationally cursed from all the gangbangers from way back when and the mob. And the mob still runs Chicago. It started in Chicago. Rosemont is the mob town. And they do not let Negroes work there. So in Chicago ain't gonna get right until the mob all fall off the map totally until they stop paying all the cops. The evil's gonna keep going unseen. People gonna still be getting shot, still dying, and everything else. Corona is a catch-22 situation. If you don't have a relationship with God, get you one. Because everybody got time on their hands. They should have been sitting at home. You can't go see your side chick, your side man, teach your dog, retrain your kids. So when they go their ass back to school, they're not shooting up, joining the gangs, and doing things they doing. Everybody got too much time on their hands. It's too many chiefs and not enough any. I'm done.
All right. Thank you, Keyshawn.
Oh,
Who's next? And
I
Thank
ready to
you,
close.
Keyshawn.
Can I close
I
it?
love you,
You
girl.
welcome. I love you, Mary. Yes,
All
Now
right.
I
I'm
love
gonna
you
say
too,
my
my
last
sister.
statement. I'm gonna say my last statement. My mother was a Hampton. Fred Hampton was my mother's cousin. I'm gonna tell her like this: if you look at the murders that was in Chicago way before it was now, we had way more murders. It used to be 900 and some murders compared to what it was back now. Back in the 60s, they had more murders in Chicago than they have now. So
Gang violence.
that yeah, but wait a minute. So if you say that they did all this when the gangs started really coming effective around like the late 70s, coming to the 80s, they closed the steel mills. Let's just keep it real. They closed the steel mills where our ancestors came up from down in Mississippi. My grandfather and your grandmama and them. When they came, my grandmother told me when they moved off the projects, Robert Taylor's and Ida B. Wells, they had all black people over there. But when my grandfather owned property or whatever, and I mean not owned property, but he had two businesses. He was a mechanic, and he also owned a store. When they made more money than they did when they came in there, they made sure anybody that was black that had money, they had to leave out of public housing. It was before it was called public housing. They made sure they left those areas and they left the poor blacks in one area. You could read about Chicago history and the design for failure of the black community. And a lot of those people that came up from that Delta, they came for those industrial jobs, like the steel mills. What happened? They closed those jobs down in the late 70s, early 80s, and they took the jobs to China instead of giving to African Americans who was at all of these places. So then you had us locked out of wealth. You had people stressed out, and drugs was forced in the community, as you can see from the Black Panther movie, where the CIA and everything else. So when you have all of that, us being deprived and locked out of stuff, many other groups was not locked out of wealth like we were, and that's just a known fact. And our parents, a lot of our parents were gang bangers. So when you look at the new gang bangers, they're a result of what the parents' reflection was from coming off from the crack epidemic. Then you got mass incarceration. You got Joe Biden. What did he say? I mean, Bill Clinton. I'm sorry for locking up black men. So those fathers was lost. So when you take away those fathers from those households, what do you have for those next when them kids grow up? Nobody wants to talk about that blame, because if those fathers was not there to raise those kids, if people say mass incarceration didn't have effect on the black community, they're not looking at that picture. That picture of mass incarceration led the black community to what we see today. That's all I want to say.
All right, who wants to go next?
I
Me.
think
Go ahead, Brian. Then we'll go Ashley, Addie, and then I'll close this out.
okay.
All right. I remember when I could tell that a lot of people are not really mad about what's going on in Chicago, because I remember when the president wanted to send the National Guard to Chicago to straighten it out. That people got pissed about that. I mean, I said, why isn't those same people mad what's going on right now if they was mad about him trying to send the National Guard? Because if he was sent the National Guard, I guarantee things right now would have been straightened out. I'm done.
That was right when Trump came into office. I remember that. Ashley, you want to go ahead and give your thoughts? Your closing thoughts?
My thoughts. I feel like I'm a black woman, and I feel like, again, I'm a black woman. I feel like black people make excuses. You always want to be the victim. I feel like that's the thing. We sit here, we the main people that get all these damn, government things, everything they hand out, we right there in line for it. As soon as something happens to somebody, we right there being a victim. Yes, I know. Plenty of times we have been a victim, but I feel like everybody has to always play this victim role. Second, all this about being about this thing. So much in my mind about the
Amen.
police and defunding them.
Mm-hmm.
Why defund them? You think you got violence now? And you think if you take money away from them, that's just like you take money from your job and you feel like you gotta get up every morning at 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. and go to your job and they even took $2 off your hourly pay. And you think you're gonna want to go to that job and do your job the right way? You're not gonna want to do it. Period. You're gonna go to work. You're gonna be upset. They already mad because they gotta go to work. And even when they're not dealing with, if they dealing with stuff, and it might be an officer that is a bad cop. But what about the good officer? You taking money from them, and then when they go to work, they mad, and you sitting there. And let me tell you, I've seen plenty of times when a good cop be in a situation, and you see a black man, he's in there. What you want to do? Just putting cameras all in his face, and they all being so mean and nasty to him because you black and he white, or it's just a mess. It's a whole daggone mess, and I'm about sick of it. If everybody act like they had humanity, if they start acting like you're human again, maybe we won't have none of these damn problems. All everybody do is try to be the victim. If it's the white person, the black person, the Chinese, it doesn't matter. Everybody want to play victim. Stop playing victim. Be human. Act like you got feelings. Act like if you get shot, your ass gonna die. And I'm done.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Or I said Ashley. Addie, you want to give your closing thoughts?
Gosh, I don't even. I just want to. I was telling a friend the other day about the AFC, and they were asking me like the first question out their mouth, like, "What's your position on the riots, George Floyd, like what all of it?" And I was like, "Well, we're a group that advocates for children. We're a group of people that are against, child abuse and child murder. We're a group of people that wants to see, children. We want to see a brighter future. We want to have that for them." And they were like, "Well, so is it like mostly white people or black people?" And I was like, it's a group. We're like, I just told you what we are. Like, we're a group of people that are coming together for a common cause. Does not matter what skin hue we have, and that's just how we operate here. That's not what it's about. And the more we try to separate, and that's like on any front, the more we'll have division. Like, we just need to just come together, and I don't see how having only black cops in black neighborhoods or white cops in white neighborhoods is any different than segregation. So.
Yeah, I feel you. All right. So, and I don't want to add too much to that because, like I said, I think that that we can maybe pick this topic up a different day. So, if this is something that we want to do and we want to talk about things like this kind of outside the confines of a particular story, then we can do that. So what I am going to do on the replays, you guys will see this, I think maybe for about 12 hours or so. And then from there, it's going to disappear. And I might upload it as its own separate video. So that way you guys can always go back and refine this particular conversation. And maybe going forward, like, I don't know if I ever want to start putting people back on the screen. I don't know if I want to go back to those days or not, but just something to think about. Maybe we'll have to have a conversation about that. But I want to say thank y'all, not only for caring, but for coming on and speaking your thoughts, okay?
Thanks, man.
All right.
All right. Definitely appreciate you guys.
Okay.
Thank you to everybody who stayed, listened, supported. We've been on here for a while, and I love all of you guys. Y'all have a great night. Don't let it be your last time hopping on here, okay?
Won't be mine.
I'll be back.
All right, man. Y'all have a great night, okay?
You too.
All right.
All right. Peace.
All right.
Peace. All right. Let's see. And I didn't even know StreamYards is allowing us to go from the cell phone now, which is actually pretty dope. And again, thank you to everybody who joined the panel. I think we had about 7, maybe 8 people hopped on and spoke. That's pretty good, man. And I definitely appreciate everybody's perspective. I love you guys. From my heart to yours. This is the AFC, where we advocate for children first, man. All right.